Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 55, Scorched Earth. To briefly recap last episode, we were hosting a whole lot of wolves for honor, and those wolves had a considerable amount of offspring. Some of these offspring are finally aging up to the point where they are going to be able to haul for us, so that's exciting. We sent our colonists out to another complex to receive the information about the Relic of Dominance, and then, of course, we grabbed it from the mechanoids and hosted a bit of a dance party as a result, and because of that dance party, Alacerba, now renamed a shield, joined us. And I actually have a plan for Alacerba. Or rather, a shield. This episode is straightforward. Our wealth is climbing pretty considerably. So I'm going to be putting up the poll about where we're going and what we're doing for the next map tile soon. What I'm hoping to do is continue to the research for marine armor to cataphract armor and pulse charged munitions. I think I am going to delay the Archonexus until we have the arms and armor that I want. And then, of course, we have the major architect structure, which needs a bit more study. Currently, we're in the middle of a volcanic winter, but because we're in a tropical rainforest, volcanic winters probably don't drop the temperature enough for it to matter. And one last thing I wanted to do is to call in a bulk goods trader, because the amount of corsets I have now, oh man, 50 in climbing, oh maybe more, 51 in climbing. The amount of corsets that I have is getting bordering on the absurd, so we're going to want to deal with that. I'm also going to clean up all the vomit from the what is it called? Blood rot that we had. Denishi's probably not a fan of this task. This is going to take all day. And A Shield here is going to be, instead of enslaved, released. I have a strange plan for A Shield. Zleb's mother. Zleb's very messed up mother, by the by, but still, mother. Now, during our dance party, we also had a bit of a brownout, so I'm adding up more geothermal generators. We have more opportunities to add additional steam generators or geothermal generators, but I don't think that we will ever have the power demands for them. There was a lot of steam geysers around the center of the map, and I don't think we're going to need them all. And a shield is now on her feet. And has joined the colony. So this year is going to become a colonist bed. And let me do some of the work priorities for a shield. Now, incapable of dumb labor is normally an issue, but for this special colonist, it won't be. So for assignments, non-royal clothing, lavish meals and chocolate are fine, mood drugs are fine. And I'm going to create two new zones. This one is going to be called Sven's zone, and this one, A Shield's zone. So Sven's zone is not going to allow Sven to go there, and A Shield zone is not going to allow A Shield to go there. And I'm going to invert these and schedule them accordingly. So Sven set to Sven's zone and A Shield to A Shield zone. And as you may have sort of assumed here, A Shield is going to be responsible for studying the major architect structure as they do research tasks, and then once they're done, maybe get on the ground penetrating scanning, because I am completely out of plasteel. Another thing I'm going to need to do is to create a new drug policy. I'm going to call this Lucy, Let's mimic the other drug policy, so it's beer 70% every 2 days. I wish you could just copy and paste drug policies. That would be great. I know, of course, there's mods that do this, but I wish it was built into RimWorld default. And then, what do we have for ambrosia? 50% every 2? Psychite tea every 2, 80%. And I believe we carry... No, we carry go juice. Okay. 1 go juice to carry. And the luciferium, every 6 days, carry 2. So that A shield doesn't have a withdrawal. Alright. In terms of drugs, I'm not going to allow you to carry any medicine. I don't think it will be necessary. And now you're going up to study the major architect structure. Probably a good thing, because, well, the emanations only affect you to -10, not the -21 of Sven. Ooh, very nice thrumbo for pants. Let's hit some production command. And I'm going to have no luck start to make wood art again, now that we have a lot of wood. The granite art is great, especially for quality and price, but wood is one heck of a plentiful material. So Bunny is regaining her psi focus. Sven is doing the research towards marine armor, and then we'll jump to cataphract. Now, the obvious other problem is pulse charge munitions and cataphract armor is going to require a sizable amount of plasteel that we do not have. So that's something we're going to need to consider and solve soon. And now that all that blood rot nastiness is cleaned up, I will remove the cleaning zone. So A shield now, as you can see, is both a wolf and a pawn. So instead of re-rolling the wolf gets to become dinner for future wolves. Just the way we operate. Another thing I could do, next time I get raided by humans, or at least have humans die in the map tile, is replace the meat for wolves with just corpses. Because wolves will eat corpses, and the reason I wouldn't butcher those corpses is our ideology doesn't allow for cannibalistic butchering, but it does allow to just toss corpses into a giant freezer. That's fine. There is, oddly, I know, a difference between the two. Alright, so no luck. Instead of cutting stone here, I'm going to allow you to make wood art. And the major architect structure is getting studied. Now, A shield is not exactly the world's best pawn, but I am actually hoping that the luciferium helps to cure some of the issues that she has. The amount of clothing that we have now is ridiculous. I think I might even hit the 350k mark today at this rate. We still have things like gold up here that we haven't even hauled in. I think I'm going to set my 3 slaves to full-time haul, just to try to tidy up the rest of what's on the map. It is definitely becoming a little ridiculous. We have no space for corn either. I will, however, turn on the fabrication bench because we are very low on components as a result of all of the geothermal generators and turrets that we built. because last episode we did put 4 additional turrets up here for security, and then the geo generator and probably some other component usage. Oh yes, all of the speakers and light ball as well. Sven, let's go ahead and trade. Is this Tony Cefalu? It is. Man, she shows up everywhere. I am going to part with the crummy bows because we were just going to spend manpower to smelt them anyway. So I might as well get some money out of them. And that is about all the money that they have. Let's buy the pack of survival meals, because why not? And sell a few more things to balance it out. Some insect jelly. Now, this is West Henia. This is not someone that I ever want an alliance with. Anymore, at least. I'm working, of course, on Pact of Wazalonium. But, as you can see, my alliance with the Pact of Wazalonium is faltering a little bit. Because I'm sticking around to try to get cataphract armor and pulse charge munitions, I don't really have to worry about wealth. Wealth is not going to be the limiting factor for me on this map tile, I don't think, because we are so unbelievably wealthy already. So what I mean by that is we can, once they come by, donate a whole lot of wealth to shore up our alliance so that we don't have to re-ally. It is nice to be able to call in trade caravans and the like. And here, my high priority haulers are just grabbing tribal weapons, which, well, it is what it is, I suppose. So a shield, if I recall, is a night owl, and I should probably put a shield on a night owl schedule. And that wasn't a shield, that was Tanishi. Let me try that again. And another thing that would help is a source of light, and I'm just going to stick a little torch lamp out here so that a shield can see the research that she is doing. That will speed it up a little bit. So only Evil Runner is old enough to haul. And as soon as Evil Runner is able to, I may want to reconsider where I store the wolves. So here's the issue with wolves. They do produce a considerable amount of filth. They just do. They're dirtier than pawns are. So keeping them, allowing them to haul for us, but then keeping them from generating filth is a rather tricky balance, I would say. And that's something that we're going to want to try to balance. So the best way to do it is to have some sort of dedicated wolf pen that is refrigerated so that any human corpses or meat that I put in there doesn't spoil. But then also have a temporary stockpile right outside of this stockpile for them to haul to, maybe here. So it might make sense for me to have some sort of wolf pen in this corner. And that's something I can set up with relative ease. So I'm going to have my planters start to chop down the trees around here. And I'll set the wolf pen up. And I'm also going to have it separate from the rest of the base so that the base doesn't get nasty. Alright, this Tinctoria I'm not going to allow resowing, but we should probably not allow it to rot in the fields. That's kind of wasteful. We're down to 8 steel. I was really hoping setting high priority hauling would trigger... What are you doing? Oh, you're making components. Would trigger these slaves hauling the steel that Bunny has mined up. But that, unfortunately, is just not the case. And this Archotech structure is just about a fourth done. So down here, if we are setting up a a wolf pen. I'm going to set 3 coolers up. And we'll build it like this. Can't have a door. It needs... Well, it could have a door. Wolves can go through doors. But I think what might make even more sense is if it was maybe like an animal flap or something like that. So let's do a cloth animal flap. The floors are going to be straw matting instead of just raw floors. The raw dirt floors would produce less filth, but I'd prefer, in this case, straw matting. Just because it fits. It looks like it fits better. Now, they're all sterilized. Who is my farmers? I'm going to have the farmers actually do the tree cutting here. They're so much faster at it. And stick a little light in there, and then we're kind of all set. Right here, I'll have a stockpile that's 1 priority lower than this one. So it'll be, well, this is already low. That will be normal. The only problem with the stockpile is it's going to be treated as, like, overflow. Because I have so many things in this colony that they'll be using the low priority stockpile outdoors to haul to, which is obviously a bit of an issue. So the roof over the transport pods, yeah, that's not going to work. But everything else is fine to be roofed. So what I'll do is I have a lot more straw. I'm going to have a bit of a pad here for the wolves to travel around. And then I'm going to concrete this section up. And we'll just have to do some careful zoning. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to concrete the perimeter. This doesn't exactly help with fires unless it's a concrete perimeter of at least a certain amount of tiles. It would be 3. Fires can't jump more than 3 tiles. But it's something. The problem with the concrete perimeter is I just realized I don't have a lot of steel at the moment. So let's do a flagstone granite area instead. And then I will order the farmers to cut all around here. All right, looking good. It's going to take a little while to have the steel and components delivered to these coolers because of a lack of steel. But with any luck, I'll be able to buy some in just a minute. So unnamed animals are going to be dumped. I think that's all of them. And I am quite obviously going to want to buy some steel. I'm going to sell... Well, they can't really afford this. I want to sell some of the ambrosia as well, because I'm not doing anything with it. But it really depends on what they can afford. I can also donate it too. So let's go with every last ounce of their silver. And then a gift. I know it's really strange for us to be gifting. There we go. We're up to 75 now, which is just a lot better to sit at if we need to call in military aid or something like that. And that also frees up a lot of the storage space that we were being choked out of having. We can actually put things away. So this torch, because it's in the rain, is going to run out of fuel regularly. So to solve that, I'm going to put a pillar here to roof up the torch and then roof up where A-Shield's interaction spot is, so A-Shield doesn't get so wet standing out there. And Kadath and Grantillis now also can be trained to haul. I'm curious how far we've gotten with the animal training. 0. Good. That's encouraging. I think what I'll do is I'm going to skip attack training and go straight to haul training. A paid heat wave. Nah, the rewards just aren't good enough. So we want to drop the ambient temperature of this little wolf den to just below freezing, ideally. And then, how many wolves do I have? 7? Set us up a little bit of a wolf pad. Once this is all built, I'll probably actually end up moving them to be kept in here until they're able to haul. And we have a raid. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so schedule. Everybody, all the colonists inside, and the slaves inside. This bulk goods trader, yeah, you're going to have a bit of a rough ride. That's all I'm going to say. So, this raid, there's a Sister of Droidin. How many people are there? They're not, they're just attacking immediately. So, there's 73. And what I'm hoping to do is, well, feed their corpses to my wolves. And also a really good demonstration of the kill box. So Bunny here is coming out and lighting the left path. I also... Yeah, this is part of my home zone, but it's not part of my allowed zone. So I think it's fine if they're like, oh, there's fire. Because it's not going to cause any issues, not immediately. And Bunny is going to get this path lit. The bulk goods trader is going to have a rough time. It's not really my problem. They decided to show up. Now, some of the animals from the bulk goods are going to, as you can see, open up doors that probably shouldn't be opened. So what I need to do is I need to have a defense force for incursions that, you know, should be controlled. Yeah, that Balkwood's trader is dead. Just to have backup. Let me clear this out. All right, so who's heat stroking? Bunny, because she was in here. So here is already 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So once these raiders are done with the Balkwood's traders, they're going to come through. And it looks like I'm getting all of my, or some of my, corsets back. Kinda didn't want that, but, you know, it's just how it goes. Alright, let's wait at the end of the fire tunnel, and we will, we'll just watch them die, I suppose. So, stacking up on the doors, I don't actually expect anyone to actually make it through this maze, because the maze is way too hot, and slows them down way too much for them to survive. But it's a good demonstration of it working. Scoob. Death in 22 hours. I could rescue Scoob for a bit of rep. And the AI sort of breaks down, because what ends up happening, as you can see, is they walk in, set on fire, walk back out, and clog the hallway. And they don't really go anywhere. They're just sort of stuck. And they trickle in slowly. And this is exactly why I wanted a slower burning wood floor rather than the fast burning straw floor. So that the floor stays on fire longer, because if it was straw, it would burn out really quickly. Like a match. And then the fire would be gone, and all these guys would make it inside. And then the other benefit, of course, is a lot of these guys end up with no bleeds, so that they live a long time, but they're in such extreme pain due to all the burns that I can capture them or organ harvest or whatever I want. So, I'm actually going to have my colonists just do their own thing. I don't even need to stand around and watch. This maze works too well. Wow. You guys really are jerks. That was just an animal. And then if anyone does make it in, of course, I have 10 turrets to gun them down, which would take no effort at all. It's weird to have a raid of, whatever, 80-something, and I'm not even watching. It wouldn't be a terrible idea for me to start capturing slaves, however. So I am going to pop out this east door and start firing at those that are fleeing, because that's exactly what Bunny would like to do. The whole group is fleeing. And let's see. I'm going to cherry pick here. You're a good miner. And you're only burned. So, because of Alicerba's bedroom, I don't exactly have a place for the slaves again. This is like a continual problem. So I think what I'm going to have is... Alicerba can't sleep in there. That's actually the only place she can't go. Alicerba, this is your bedroom. Or a shield, sorry. And then this will be for prisoners. And I will grab some prisoners. So capture you. I'm looking for ones that won't be such a pain to keep, which unfortunately is quite a lot of them. Another thing I could do is to lift the schedule. So Sven, Shield, everybody else, and slaves, so that I can fight the fires. And if I'm going to want to fight the fires, I'm going to need to break into a piece of this wall to vent it out. So I'm going to break into that piece right there with no luck. No luck is going over there now. Let's not miss. So this is more or less just like a shooting gallery to make Bunny happy so that she witnesses death. If we capture people from this, that's fine. Or, you know, good, I suppose. But that's not really the main concern. So, any other slaves? Scoob, I'm going to rescue you. And to rescue you, I'm going to need a hospital bed. or something vaguely resembling a hospital bed. And any of these others would make good slaves. Not a whole lot of them are surviving, as you can see. Because I've done a gladiator fight most... Oh, you! Quick sleeper? And does plants. Alright. Zleb, you can capture... Soaga. So the other kicker is the corpses, right? So I am going to stockpile these tribal corpses in here. So this will be a fresh only, preferred priority for human-like corpses that are not colonists or slaves, but strangers. And what that will allow me to do is to feed my... wolves without actually having to feed the wolves. Kind of a shortcut, if you will. In fact, I could even set it up so that the wolves, once they are able to haul, will do the hauling themselves. They will go grab fresh corpses and haul it into their own wolf den, or whatever you want to call it. Sven, where are you? Okay, so you're capturing one. Because, of course, these capturees are going to need to be converted, enslaved, but also tended to. And I don't believe I chose to grab too many. We don't really have need of a big slave population, so I'm not that worried about it. You, however, well, I guess I'll give you a lavish meal this one time. All right. So convert both. Set them up with nutrient paste. And that's about done. Now for us to prep the kill box again. Oh, hello. Just open up the other door, replace this wall, and close this door. That's all we need to do. And then I'll rebuild the other side. So this door goes closed. And I'm just going to haul the bodies that are propping doors up. And yeah, we're done. That was relatively easy. Whatever happened to you? Okay, you, Scoob. You're patched up. Great. So the wolf zone, I am going to move. All of the wolves are going to go outdoors. And then this zone here is going to get put back to the way it was before. So I will not be cleaning up this area. And we have a proper den, which we will slowly stockpile with corpses so that they can feast. This wooden door is going to be broken down, replaced with a wall, and then this is going to turn into the hallway that it used to be. So here are two more, one miner and one planter, two more potential slaves. And you will be given tribal meds, or herbal meds. Bunny, did you hit your killed 5? You did. You did. Because, of course, there's more to kill if I wanted to. But we don't. It wouldn't benefit us right now. So I'll double check to make sure that none of these guys are good slaves. But I don't think they are. No, they're really not. Another thing we'll be able to do is an Arco offering. So actually, I could grab one more person in order to offer them up in the Arco offerings for a little bit of development points and the like. Public execution has a cooldown of 9 days, so I don't really want to grab one of these guys for an execution in 9 days. I don't want to keep them that long. But Rhodox, Ro, or whatever their name is, will be sacrificed. The other thing I'm going to need to do is to start hauling again with my, with all the slaves. Because that's quite a lot. So you will be converted, but not enslaved. All right, the corpses are getting piled up. And let's see, Bunny is trying to warden them. Oh, Sven with creativity. That's not that helpful. I'm gonna have Bunny remove this meat so that we can go back to having that hallway. I don't think I want to wait around for the regular haulers to do that. I'll just encourage it to be a little bit faster. So to reset this trap, other than to remove the corpses, we just need to put the wooden floors back where they burned. But the right side's already opened, so it's ready for more new business. And I'm going to work drive Trustin. And a party. I think what I'll do is once the party is done, I'm going to high priority haul for everybody because there's just a lot of wealth out here that needs to be dealt with. The corsets, wow, 70 unfertilized eggs. It's kind of a lot. Let's haul those in now before they rot. And it would be good if I called in another bulk goods and I have to wait 13 hours. So I can do that tonight at 9 p.m. Okay, so Aga had a crisis of belief and dropped 50%, which is great. That's going to make conversion a lot faster. JD, I'm actually going to force Butcher for you because we have a lot of creatures that are slowly rotting here, and it would be really good if I got their meat instead. That looks nearly full. I think that's the last corpse that can even fit in there. I could definitely make this room larger if I wanted to store more corpses, but I think that should be fine for our purposes. all the creatures that I sold, the bulk goods trader ended up dying anyway. And Scoob was the sole survivor that I only rescued for the credit, the relationship credit. We're pulling up the burned floor panels so that we can put down wooden ones. Oh, and I missed one section right here. The only reason I don't like the maze is constructors are very inefficient about how they walk around the maze and do their constructions, so what should only take like one trip ends up taking multiple. And I'm going to have Bunny come out here and top up her her kills, because we can have her ride high for 4 days instead of 3, if she could actually hit Emu. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and well, I guess just 4. Every wolf is now eligible for hauling training. I wonder why Zleb's not allowed to be master of Evil Runner. Oh, because Evil Runner doesn't have guard training. That makes sense. And a shield. Alzheimer's is kicking in. Scoob has left. Bye, Scoob. And it has been enough time for me to call in a trade caravan. So yet another bulk goods, and maybe this one will actually be able to take the bulk goods that I want to sell off the map tile. Maybe. I'm going to leave high priority hauling on for a bit longer. But if the bulk goods trader's coming in, I'm going to take high priority hauling off for Sven, because I'd rather have Sven researching. Once all the bulk goods are sold, or once at least I have a little bit more room, I can start calling in the exotic goods traders to potentially buy plasteel. And that way, I'll have a slightly better source of it. Danishi, I'm going to set up for cleaning because the base is filthy. And that was the last of the Victoria. 666 dies should be fine. Which does actually remind me that shield, you need to get dyed the proper colors. Because you are not a slave, you get to keep your desired hair, clothing, etc. But you should be this architect white that we're going with. He'll be fine. Oh, a wave of mad rhinos. So, Droiden, you ought to come inside, and I'm going to send my call. Oh, Droiden did not get inside in time. So, here, stand in the door and tank for me. Oh, that was Danishi. My bad. All right, Danishi, how ruined is your body? Fairly? Let's return you to bed and have everybody else come out here. It's a lot of rhinos that want to fight. And I think that's all of them. Nope, there's one more. At least. Numbers, enemies. Yep, that's the last one. Okay, we are done. Bunny, come preach health to Danishi. Get Danishi back on her feet so that she can get back to work. And now we're going to have quite a ridiculous amount of meat. So I think it wouldn't be a terrible idea for me to turn some of this meat into chem fuel. Else it will just rot. That is more rhino meat than I need. So I am just about out of time. And for reference, I have indeed hit the 350k mark. So before I outro here for you all, if you would like to participate in the poll to help to determine the next stage of the Archotechs, please go to Discord or my website, Rhadamant.com. The link to Discord can also be found on my website or, of course, in the description of this video. And I'll have a link to the poll, which will help to determine who's coming on the next stage of the Archonexus, and also where we're going, what kind of biome, etc., etc., just like the last time. And that, my friends, is all the time I have. Thank you for tuning in to episode 55 of the Archotechs, Scorched Earth. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to participate in the poll, which will help to determine some of the settings for the next stage of the Archonexus, please either hop on Rhadamant.com for the link to that poll, or Discord. The link can be found in the description of the video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you next episode, and thank you for voting. Farewell.